Good afternoon, everybody. Phil, Brilliant Environmental Services. Yes, I am a past president of this organization. Actually, I was thinking about that this morning. So 21 years ago, Ocean County Business Association. It is the best in business in Ocean County or worldwide, however you want to say it. Around since 1985, because, we do the referrals, and I always tell people OCBA is not about somebody doing it cheap. It's about somebody doing it right the first time and giving you high quality service. The prices may not be the cheapest, but we answer the phone on referrals. We give people the best service possible, and we hope that at the end of the day, we get that referral back. It's like paying it forward. What do I do? So environmental consulting, 33 years ago was one thing. Today, it's 9 million things. We do strictly what I consider site remediation. So the dirty side, underground storage tanks, removals, environmental cleanups. We do industrial sites. I was actually saying before, printing presses are big leakers. We do a lot of cleanups on those type of properties. New Jersey is a very unique state, and I'm sure if you've been in New Jersey your whole life, you figure that out. We have laws here that no other state in the country has. If you have an industrial property and you are selling it, you have to do an environmental assessment and you have to clean up what might be found, okay? If you're buying any other site, the buyer does the assessment to make sure the buyer beware that they're protecting themselves. Now, the buyer should always know what they're buying, and they should always do due diligence, and we do that environmental due diligence. In 2009, New Jersey changed the laws and licensed individuals like myself to be a licensed site remediation professional. So not only do I do the investigations, it's kind of a privatized program. I do the investigations, I figure out how contaminated a site is, I propose a cleanup of it, I clean it up, and I issue the letter that says the site's clean. It's expedited cleanup throughout New Jersey. But anyway, so we do, as an LSRP, we oversee all the cleanups, the investigations. We are able to move things through the process a lot quicker than it used to. You used to have to wait for the DP to read a letter and go back. And right now, as I stand in front of you, there are 16,382 contaminated sites. I looked at it before I came out here, so I knew exactly what it was in New Jersey. And keep in mind too, New Jersey also has the most Superfund sites in the country. And think about, we're the third smallest state. So, we have more than California, we have more than Florida, Texas, all those other states.
Is that because we identify more, or is that because we actually have more?
I will tell you that I thank every day Alexander Hamilton, okay? Because if you think of the Industrial Revolution, it started here in New Jersey. So we have the longest history of industry and industrial sites. And in the 1700s, okay, you didn't clean anything up, you just moved on. You threw it out the back door. In the 1800s, it didn't change. Think about the fact that Nixon was the president that started the EPA in this country. In 1972, I believe, is the year. The answer to your question is, we have the history here, but we also have the most stringent standards in the country. So if you sneeze, it's above standards, and we have to clean that up. So it's a little bit of everything mixed into one. We have two offices. We have an office here in Toms River. We have an office in Haddonfield, New Jersey, a small satellite office. We really do everything that we can do in-house, and I only have 10 employees. And we use subcontractors as needed, but we try to do as much as we can. I have 3 LSRPs on staff that all we really do is work with developers, builders, and contaminated site owners to make sure we get things through. I always say most, if not all of our work is not because people want to do it, it's because they have to do it. We do a lot of give back in the community. We want to make sure that we pay it forward. If you know anybody who owns, operates, or sends their kids to a daycare center, New Jersey is the only state in the country where you have to do an environmental assessment before you open up a daycare center. We do those in-house. We do tank sweeps if you're buying or selling a property to make sure there are no underground storage tanks. We're small enough, we do residential work as well as commercial and industrial work all throughout New Jersey. Predominantly New Jersey. We do have sites for one client, and not to bore you with details, one of my largest clients is Luke Oil, okay? Luke Oil, if you know or don't know, is owned by the Russian government, okay? They're a Delaware company, and 51% is owned by the Russian government. And on October 22nd, when the most recent sanctions were put in against Russia, it included Luke Oil. So I have now learned a lot about international law, which I never knew before. They have an extension through the 29th of April, but basically all that work could go away. I'm banking on the President of the United States ending the Ukrainian war. We'll see if that works. But there are some ways that we are continuing to work forward. But with that, I have that contract. I do work in New York, also in Pennsylvania.
I didn't go to Rutgers.
Any questions? Yeah, I went to Rutgers.
You were on one of the governor's boards. Is that still going? And if so, what do they do?
Yeah. So I was appointed in 2010 to the LSRP, so Licensed Professional Board that oversees all LSRPs, licensed professionals. There's about 700 of them in the state of New Jersey. I sat for a 3-year term. I'm still on that board. 16 years later? Because if you know anything about boards in New Jersey, they don't get filled and you hold your spot until someone replaces you. So I'm still holding. That board, similar to like a real estate board, a CPA board, which is now getting founded. They oversee the complaints, the discipline against licensed professionals. We put an exam out every year for people to do it. We do continuing ed. So basically, I'm the chairman of the professional conduct committee. So if somebody has a deal go south or they don't like their LSRP, or basically they feel the guy did the job wrong, we do the review, we discipline them. So that's the work that I do. And that's about 4 meetings a month, something I volunteer for. Any questions for me? No? Good?
No, I have a testimonial though.
Oh, sure.
No, it's good, I swear. We purchased property on either side of our CHAP office, and anybody that knows where my office is located, there's a lot of really not good stuff that happened behind our office. So Phil's team came out, they checked the oil tank for the house that we purchased, and then you checked the property next to us that the town, eminent domain from us anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, he did all of the work, super responsive, and we were very happy with everything that you did.
Thank you.
It's really great having somebody that you can trust, because it is very complicated and you find things and.
You have 16,000 contaminated sites in New Jersey.
Yes.
It's a big one.
Dry cleaners, again, when I say contaminated sites, remember, childcare centers are considered contaminated sites until they get their clean bill of health to open clean. So it could be a mix of everything. Residential properties with heating oil tanks.
Yeah.
And once one of those big sites are found, they remain that for a considerable amount of time, correct?
No, there's no further action, and then there's no further action with conditions. And the conditions are you may have to sample until the end of time, and those sites still stay on the list. So there are different varying levels. That's one thing I will say, and I say this to people all the time. Don't put it off for your kids to deal with. If you know there's something there, deal with it now. Because when regulations change, it's gonna be twice as hard for your kids, and they will keep
It's only
changing.
gonna get worse.